AITA for asking my friend's GF how old she was when she made that ceramic? Hey everyone, I'm 28M. Need some outside perspective because I'm still kind of freaking out about this whole thing and I can't tell if I'm the jerk here or not. I swear I didn't mean to upset anyone, but my friend Marcus, 29M, is still pretty mad at me, and I feel like absolute garbage. So, here's the whole story. Sorry if this gets long, I just want to give all the context so you can judge me fairly. I'm a mess right now, so bear with me, okay? Okay, so for starters, Marcus and I go way back. We've been friends since high school, like 10th grade, when we got paired up for a history project and bonded over how much we hated memorizing dates for the Civil War. We'd spend hours after school playing video games, Call of Duty, mostly, and just messing around. He's the kind of guy who's always there for you, you know? Like, when I moved into my first apartment after college, he showed up with his truck and helped me lug a couch up 3 flights of stairs. I did the same for him a year later. We've done road trips, late-night Taco Bell runs, and I even survived his 21st birthday when he puked in my car. He still owes me for that one, lol. Point is, Marcus is solid, and I'd never do anything on purpose to mess with him or his relationships. So, about 6 months ago, Marcus started dating Sarah, 27F. He was so excited about her, kept telling me in our friend group how awesome she was. He'd go on and on about how she's super creative, how she's been into ceramics since she was a kid, and how good she is at it. He'd send pictures in our group chat, cool vases, little pots, even these wild abstract sculptures. I thought it was dope. I'm not artistic at all, my stick figures look like they're in pain, but I always admired people who could make stuff like that. Marcus said she was really proud of her work, and I was genuinely hyped to meet her and see her stuff in person. Fast forward to a few days ago. Sarah invited me, Jake, 28M, and Emily, 27F, over to her place for dinner. It was like a let's get to know each other thing, since we hadn't hung out with her much before. I was excited. I figured it'd be a chill night, good food, good conversation, a chance to vibe with Marcus's new girlfriend. I even brought a bottle of red wine as a little thank you for hosting us thing, because my mom always taught me not to show up empty-handed. When we got there, Sarah was super welcoming, big smile, told us to make ourselves at home. Her apartment was so cool, tons of plants, cozy vibes, and ceramics everywhere. Shelves in the living room had little pots and figurines, there was a fancy bowl on the dining table, and even the water mugs we used were these handmade ceramic ones. I was like, damn, this girl's talented. Here's where it all went wrong. We're hanging out in the living room before dinner, munching on chips and dip she'd set out, and I'm looking around at all her ceramics. I spot this little pot on a shelf, small, kinda wonky, with this rustic brown glaze and an uneven edge. It caught my eye because, okay, quick tangent, I actually did a ceramics club when I was a kid. I was, like, 10 or 11, and my elementary school had this after-school thing where we'd play with clay. I made this lumpy, sad little pot that my mom still keeps on her kitchen counter, even though it's a total disaster. Seeing Sarah's pot took me back, you know? Not in a bad way, just in a nostalgic, that's cute kinda way. I thought it'd be a fun way to connect with her. So, I'm trying to be friendly, show some interest in her hobby, and I point to the pot and say, super casually, hey Sarah, how old were you when you made that one? I swear on my life, I had no bad intentions. In my head, I'm thinking she'd say, oh, I was 12, or something, and I'd go, that's awesome. I made one like that when I was a kid too, and we'd laugh and swap stories. I was ready to tell her about my goofy pot, make a connection, you know? But the second I said it, her face just dropped. Like, her smile vanished, and she got this stiff, awkward expression. She paused, then said, I made that a couple weeks ago. And my stomach just sank. Oh no. Oh no. My brain went into full panic mode. I realized how that probably sounded, like I was saying her pot looked like a kid's project or something. I didn't mean that at all. I immediately tried to fix it, stumbling over my words like, oh my gosh, no, I didn't mean it like that. It's really cool. I just meant it reminded me of one I made as a kid. I was in a ceramics club, I still have mine, it's not bad at all. But it was like digging a deeper hole, the more I talked, the worse it felt. She just nodded, said, oh, okay, in this quiet, flat voice, and I could tell she was upset. Marcus gave me this look, not a death glare, but like a dude, really, kinda stare. Jake and Emily sort of froze, and I'm sitting there, sweating bullets, feeling like the world's biggest moron. Marcus jumped in and changed the subject to the food, asking Sarah about the recipe, and we moved on, but the vibe was off. Dinner was amazing. She made this killer lasagna and a salad with some fancy dressing, but Sarah was different with me after that. She'd laugh at Jake's dumb jokes or chat with Emily about work, but with me, it was just short answers, no eye contact. I tried to be extra nice, complimented the lasagna, asked about her job. She's a graphic designer, which sounds cool, but it didn't seem to help. I felt so bad, you guys. We left around 9 p.m., said our goodbyes, and I hoped it'd just blow over. But then, like an hour later, my phone rings, Marcus. I pick up, thinking maybe we'd laugh it off, but nope, he's mad. He goes, "Dude, why would you say that to her? You made her feel like her work was childish. She's really sensitive about her art, and you totally threw her off." I tried to explain again that I didn't mean it like that I was just trying to relate, that I thought her stuff was awesome. I told him about my kid pot, how I was trying to make conversation, but he was like, "You should have thought before you spoke, man." She's embarrassed, and now I have to deal with this. He wasn't yelling, but he was frustrated, and then he just said, "I gotta go," and hung up. I felt like trash. The next day, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I kept replaying the moment in my head, wondering if I'd sounded like a jerk. I texted Marcus, "Hey man, I feel terrible, I swear I didn't mean to upset Sarah, can we talk?" He replied, "It's fine, just give it time," but it didn't feel fine. We usually text all the time, memes, game scores, random stuff, but he's been super quiet the last few days. I haven't messaged Sarah directly because I didn't want to make it weird, but now I'm wondering if that was a mistake. I just hate that I made her feel bad, and now things are off with Marcus. I get that I messed up the delivery, but I wasn't trying to be mean. I just wanted to show I was interested in her passion. Maybe I was dumb for not thinking it through, hindsight's 20/20, right? Here's my take, I don't think I'm the asshole because I didn't mean to hurt her. I was genuinely trying to be nice, and I tried to fix it right away. Her stuff is amazing, and I feel awful it came across wrong. But I can see why she was upset. If someone asked me how old I was when I made something I just finished, I might feel weird too, like they thought it wasn't good. And Marcus is mad because he's protective of her, which I totally get. He's always been like that, super loyal to the people he loves. I just wish I'd said something simple like, "Wow, that's cool," and left it alone. Am I the bad guy here, or was this just a stupid misunderstanding? I just wanna make it right. So, Reddit, AITA for asking my friend's GF how old she was when she made that ceramic? Did I screw up big time, or is this being blown out of proportion? Be honest, I can handle it. I just need to know how to fix this. Thanks for reading this insanely long post, lol. Update. Hey guys, wow, thank you so much for all the comments and advice. I wasn't expecting so many people to weigh in, y'all are amazing. The vibe I got was mostly anti-A, but a lot of you also said I was kinda an idiot for not thinking before I opened my mouth, and I can't argue with that. I was clueless, and I've been beating myself up over it. So, here's what happened after I took your advice and tried to make things right. Here's the update, sorry if it's another novel. After reading your comments, I knew I had to stop moping and do something. A bunch of you said I should apologize to Sarah directly, not just go through Marcus, and that clicked. I was nervous about texting her myself, didn't want to come off pushy or make her feel awkward, but hiding behind Marcus felt wrong too. So, the day after I posted, I texted him, "Hey man, I feel awful about the other night. Would Sarah be okay with me reaching out to apologize? Or could you ask if she'd be up for a quick chat? I just want to make this right." I was so anxious waiting for a reply, thought he might just ghost me, but he finally texted back, "I'll ask her. No promises." I was relieved he even responded, but I was still on edge. A few hours later, he messaged me, "She says you can come by today if you want. She's free this afternoon. Just don't make it weird." My stomach was in knots, you guys. I didn't want to mess this up again. I thought about bringing something, maybe flowers or cookies, but worried it'd seem like I was trying too hard. So, I just went with nothing but myself and a genuine apology. I got to Sarah's place around 3 p.m. She opened the door, and I could tell she was a little cautious, smiled, but it was more polite than warm. I jumped right in, no hesitation. "Sarah, I'm so sorry about the other night. I feel terrible. When I asked how old you were when you made that pot, I swear I didn't mean to say your work was bad or childish. I was just trying to connect because I did ceramics as a kid and it reminded me of that, but I totally get how it sounded wrong. Your stuff is amazing, and I'd never want to make you feel otherwise." I was kinda rambling, but I just needed her to know I meant it. She listened, nodded, and then, thank goodness, her expression softened. She said, "Thanks for saying that. I appreciate it. I guess I was just caught off guard. I put a lot of time into my ceramics, and I'm kinda sensitive about them, so it stung a little." Hearing that made me feel like a total jackass, but I was so glad she was talking to me. I apologized again, told her I loved her work, and then I had a lightbulb moment. I pulled out my phone and showed her a picture of my old ceramic pot, the lumpy, uneven one from when I was a kid. I laughed and said, "See? This is what I was talking about." I thought it'd be fun to share, but I totally screwed up the delivery. She leaned in, looked at the photo, and actually smiled. Then she laughed and said, "Okay, that's actually really cute, but it also looks like absolute dog's shit, no offense. It's giving it more credit than it deserves to even call it a pot." I cracked up. "She's so right, it's a mess." I said, "Yeah, my mom still loves it, but I know it's trash." That broke the ice, and we started talking more. I asked if she'd show me some of her other stuff, and her face lit up. She brought out a sleek blue vase and this cool textured bowl, telling me how she got into ceramics as a kid because her grandma taught her. She talked about experimenting with glazes, and I was genuinely into it, asked about the process, told her how impressive it was. I even fessed up to making some other stuff in my ceramics club bowls that looked like they'd cave under a feather, and a swan that stuck in its ugly duckling phase forever. We were laughing so hard by then, and the vibe was totally different. Then she goes, "You wanna see where the magic happens?" and took me to her basement, which is her ceramics studio. Guys, it's incredible. There's a wheel, a kiln, shelves full of clay and tools, and all these half-finished projects. She showed me how she shapes things, explained firing and glazing. Stuff I kinda remembered from when I was a kid but was never good at. I was blown away by her talent. Then, out of the blue, she said, "You wanna make something together?" I was like, "Me? I'll ruin it," but she laughed and insisted it'd be fun. So, we got our hands dirty and made this silly friendship bowl thing. She tried to teach me how to center the clay on the wheel, but I kept messing it up, wobbling everywhere, clay flying onto my shirt. She was so patient, guiding my hands, and we ended up with this lopsided, chunky bowl that's honestly hilarious. We carved our initials into the bottom, super cheesy, but it felt right. She said she'd fire it in the kiln and we could paint it together another day. I left her place feeling so much better, like, we actually bonded, and I think she's cool with me now. I texted Marcus after, "Hey, talked to Sarah, apologized, I think we're good. Hope you're okay too." He replied, "Glad you worked it out. I'm cool, just don't be a dumbass again, lol." That's Marcus. Think we're getting back to normal, but I'll give him some space. Maybe I'll plan a game night soon to smooth things over. Sarah even texted me later, "Had fun today. Let me know when you're free to paint the bowl." So, yeah, I think we're okay. I realize now I didn't think about how my question might have sounded to someone who's so passionate about their art. I was trying to be nice, but I was careless, and I hurt her feelings. Your comments helped me see I needed to own it and apologize for real. I'm so glad I did. Sarah's awesome, and I'm excited to maybe be friends with her. I still feel a little stupid, but I've learned to watch my words, especially about stuff people care about. Thanks for the push, Reddit. I'd say I'm NTA, but the real verdict is I was an idiot, and I'm working on it. Did I handle the apology okay? Any advice for keeping things good with Marcus and Sarah? Thanks for reading this crazy long post. Hope our friendship bowl isn't as ugly as my kid pot, lol.